Have you ever just sat there staring at your phone, not really scrolling, not replying to texts, not doing anything at all? And the weird part is, you have so much to do, so many plans, so many dreams, but nothing moves. You're not tired in the usual way. You didn't just run a marathon or spend all night working. It's a different kind of exhaustion, the kind that lives in your bones, quiet, invisible, and hard to explain. And that's where most people get it wrong. They say you're lazy. They tell you to try harder. They give you those pep talks like, just get up and grind. But the truth is, you're not lazy. You're just tired of being everything at once. See, we live in a world where being tired isn't enough of an excuse anymore. You have to prove your pain. You have to explain why you're not keeping up. You have to apologize for needing rest. And it's kind of wild when you think about it, like, how did we end up here? Why does your worth feel tied to how busy you are? Somewhere along the way, doing your best stopped being enough. Now, you have to do better than yesterday. Every day, no breaks, no mercy. You're not just working anymore. You're optimizing yourself, fixing every flaw, tracking your sleep, learning faster, eating cleaner, reading more, posting achievements, thinking ahead. And if you stop, even for a second, you feel guilty, like you're falling behind in a race you didn't sign up for. This isn't laziness. This is burnout disguised as failure. And you know what's really strange? We're doing this to ourselves. We've become our own boss, our own critic, our own slave driver, pushing ourselves harder than anyone else ever could, telling ourselves it's not enough, that we are not enough. There's this idea from philosopher Byung-Chul Han. He calls it the Burnout Society. And what he says hits deep. He explains that we used to live in a disciplinary society. There were rules, authorities, people telling you what to do. But now we live in an achievement society. Nobody tells you what to do anymore. Because you're already doing it to yourself. You're the project. You're the manager. You're the worker. All at once. You wake up and already feel behind. You scroll through, people doing more, being more, and instead of resting, you punish yourself. Because someone out there is hustling while you're here, still stuck in bed. But here's something you might need to hear. Just because you're not producing doesn't mean you're not growing. Just because you're not moving fast doesn't mean you're standing still. Sometimes, standing still is the bravest thing you can do. It takes courage to rest in a world that praises burnout. It takes strength to say, I need time. And yeah, it's scary, especially when everything feels like it's speeding up. The pressure, the noise, the competition. But that's not your rhythm. That's not your soul's pace. You're allowed to pause. You're allowed to disappear for a bit, to unplug, to breathe without explaining why, to sleep in, to daydream, to do nothing and still be worthy. Because the truth is, you're not a machine. You're a living thing. And living things need rest. Even the earth rests. Seasons change. Trees go bare. Animals hibernate. Why do you think you're the only one who shouldn't slow down? If no one's told you this lately, you're doing okay, maybe not perfect, maybe not as productive as you want to be, but you're here. Still holding on, still showing up in little ways. And that's enough. More than enough. Because the people who call you lazy don't see the weight you carry. They don't know the battles you fight just to get out of bed. They don't feel the fog in your head, the ache in your heart, or the pressure to be more every single day. But I see you, and I know. It's not laziness, it's survival. And maybe you don't need a plan right now. Maybe you don't need to fix anything today. Maybe you just need to sit with yourself, quietly, gently, and say, I'm not broken. I'm just tired. If that hits somewhere deep, then just breathe. You're allowed to be tired. You're allowed to not have it all together. And we'll talk more in part 2 about how to slowly, gently rebuild without burning yourself again. Because your life isn't a race. It's not a project. It's a rhythm. And right now, you're learning how to feel it again. So, now that we've said it out loud, you're not lazy, you're burned out. What do you even do with that? Because healing sounds nice in theory. But when your body's drained and your mind's foggy, even the smallest step feels like climbing a mountain. The truth? There's no quick fix, no productivity hack, no reset in 5 easy steps video that'll change everything overnight. But here's what you can do. Start small. I mean, painfully small. Like, get out of bed and drink water. Kind of small. Take a shower, even if it feels pointless. Kind of small. Open the window just to feel the air. Kind of small. Because when your nervous system is tired, even hope feels heavy, and that's okay. You're not trying to win. You're just trying to reconnect. See, burnout isn't just about being tired. It's about being severed from joy, from curiosity, from your own voice. You stop doing things that used to light you up. Music becomes noise. Conversations feel like tasks. Even eating tastes flat. And that emptiness, it doesn't mean you're broken. It means your soul has been running on fumes. So instead of forcing energy, try creating space. Don't chase healing. Let it land. Make room for slow moments, unstructured time, messy feelings. That's where you'll begin to hear yourself again. Beneath the pressure. Beneath the numbness. And here's something I wish more people would say. You don't need to prove your pain to deserve rest. You don't need a diagnosis. You don't need to hit rock bottom first. The moment you feel that tightness in your chest, that I can't keep doing this whisper, that's enough. That's your body asking you to come home. Start by paying attention to what drains you, to what lifts you, even a little. Maybe it's a song, or the sun on your face, or a memory that reminds you you're still human. Those small things, they're not distractions. They're medicine. And slowly you begin to remember what it feels like to be alive without the pressure to perform. Not everything needs a purpose. Not everything needs to be posted. Some moments are just meant to be lived, quietly, softly, with no one watching. If you're waiting to feel motivated again, it might not come the way you expect. Motivation isn't a lightning bolt. It's a whisper, a flicker, a quiet nudge that says, hey, try again, gently. Not because you have to, but because deep down, some part of you still believes in life. And that part, that tiny flickering ember, that's where your healing begins. And hey, before you go, if anything here made you feel a little lighter, a little seen, you're welcome to stay. Selfyra isn't about fixing you. It's about walking with you through the fog, through the heaviness, back to yourself. So if this felt like something your soul needed, you can subscribe. Not because you owe it, not because it's expected, but because sometimes it helps to be reminded. You're not alone. Not lazy, not broken, just healing. And that's more than enough. So by now, you've accepted you're not lazy, you're healing, you're rebuilding. But here's where it gets tricky. Once you start to feel a little better, just a little more energy, a bit more clarity, the world will try to pull you back into overgiving, back into overthinking, back into saying yes when your whole body is quietly begging for a no. And this is where you need to draw the line, because healing isn't just about resting. It's also about protecting your rest. Boundaries. That word might sound stiff, maybe even harsh. But honestly, boundaries are love. Real love. The kind that says, I want to give you the best of me, but I can't do that if I keep giving you all of me. Without boundaries, you leak energy. You say yes when you mean no. You keep the peace, but lose yourself. And no one sees it happening. Because you're still smiling, still showing up, still functioning, but inside, you're fading. So, here's what I want to say. It's okay to not reply right away. It's okay to leave a message on read. It's okay to cancel, to reschedule, to say, I need time. You're not rude. You're not selfish. You're honoring your capacity because your nervous system has limits. Your soul has limits. And every time you betray those limits to avoid disappointing others, you end up disappointing yourself. I know it's uncomfortable, especially if you're the one who's always been the helper, the listener, the strong one. But it's not your job to carry everyone. You were never meant to carry the world on your back. Sometimes the bravest thing you can do is rest before you break. And remember, people who truly care about you, they won't just respect your boundaries, they'll appreciate them. Because when you protect your peace, you show up more present, more whole, more real, not burnt out, not bitter, not exhausted from pretending you're fine. So as you keep healing, take this with you. You don't have to earn your rest. You don't need to explain your silence. You don't owe anyone your constant availability. You're allowed to disappear so you can come back to yourself. Because the real you, the soft, slow, tired, healing you, is already enough. If any part of this video felt like medicine to your soul, stick around. You can subscribe to Selfyra. Hit the like button if this helped you feel a little lighter. And if you've ever felt burned out, drained, or misunderstood, leave a comment. Share your story, your pace, your healing. Because someone out there is scrolling, feeling the same. And your words might be the thing that keeps them going.